that it?
I think so, actually. Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
Got it. Yeah, the Wi-Fi here, like I literally drive up here just to like do work because it's that fast.
Really? Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In my apartment, the Wi-Fi is so slow, like you cannot do anything.
What do you have?
Google Fiber, like the
is it bad?
most basic free thing that you
okay.
can possibly get.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I live out in Lewisburg, and we have like, I used to work for an internet company, so I got my internet free, like the installation and everything. So
Okay.
other than that, though, it's like like dirt, like slow internet or whatever, because it's dial-up or whatever still.
Oh my God, you have dial-up.
So they still have like the phone line plugins and everything.
Living in the 90s.
Yeah, it's bad because Google Fiber doesn't reach out there or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They actually like. The way the town is, the fiber runs across the town, but the connections don't connect to the town. So there's no way for them to actually give it to anybody. But it runs right down the highway.
Huh.
They just can't access it.
You live where?
Lewisburg, yeah.
Where is that?
Like 30 minutes south of here. So
Okay.
yeah.
I live in Lee Summit, which is also south, but I've never heard of Lewisburg.
Yeah, so it's if you just take 69 south and just literally go all the way down, you'll get to Lewisburg, and then you'll get to, it's like a town before like Wichita or whatever. Wichita, well, not a couple towns before Wichita, but like over in that area, like way south.
Okay.
Shitty.
How long have you lived there?
I think 7 years or something like that.
Are you from Kansas City originally?
No, I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, really? What brings you here?
Yeah. The upstate, so like Pickens or whatever.
Camera's working.
Yeah, cool. No, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm from the like the upstate or whatever. Do you know where Greenville is?
No.
Oh, okay, so it's
I've only lived here for like 2 years.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Where are you from?
Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it cool down there?
Oh, yeah. I had a great time growing up there.
That'd be cool. We're trying to plan a trip somewhere, and I either want to go to Branson or Lake of the Ozarks. Branson's kind of trash or whatever. So.
Oh, no. Branson's way better than Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I went there once as a kid, and I vaguely remember Silver Dollar City, and that's like it. So.
No, Silver Dollar City is the shit.
Yeah.
I love roller coasters, all that good stuff.
Right. No, I just meant like the actual town. I heard like I can't remember who told me, but somebody said like the actual town's like not that great or whatever, but I don't remember. So
I mean, yeah, it's southern Missouri.
Yeah.
Like, what else can you expect? It's Branson is like hillbilly Hollywood, basically.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense then. Yeah, like I said, I've only been to the theme park, so I didn't know exactly what to expect or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from South Carolina and moved up here in high school. So.
Okay. And you just been doing your thing up here ever since?
Yeah,
Where'd you go to high school?
Belton High.
Belton. Okay.
Yeah, trash.
That's like the consensus of everywhere around here. Is just trash.
Yeah.
But I like it in Kansas City, honestly.
No, I like Kansas City. Just the small towns are kind of ass, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Like Belton. Belton's not that bad of not that small of a town, but you got a lot of like, I don't know, you get a lot of people there. You know what I mean? Not like like Kansas City is diverse and everything, but it's like a cool diverse. You know what I mean? You got like a heavy art scene, a lot of culture. Belton's just a lot of people in one area. You know what I mean? Like it's not really like you got your shops or whatever, but it's just it's like here's a ton of people in a town, and you're gonna have to go to school with like, I don't know, I think it was like 400 people in class or whatever. Not a class, but like in a year class or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna have to meet a fuck ton of people, and it's like
Yeah, that's about the size of the school that I went to, like 400 per class.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was decent. Like you would walk through the halls, and every day I would see somebody that I just had never spoken to.
Right. Yeah.
At
It's
all.
weird. It's weird.
Which, yeah, from growing up in kind of a small town, you'd be shocked. Like, how do I not know who that person is?
Yeah. No, I'm from a small enough town where the high school has a fishing team. So.
What? Oh, I think mine did too. Actually,
That's fire. Yeah, my cousin's on it.
Yeah, there was a fishing team. I know for a fact there was a, what's it called? Trap shooting team.
Oh, dude, that's fire. That's sick. I like trap shooting.
Oh, I do too.
It's so cool. I've never done it, but it looks cool.
How do you know you love it then? Just
it looks cool. Yeah, like I like a lot of sports like that. I've played football a little bit, but like even that, like you just watch it and it's cool. You know what I mean?
It's funny how you look back and you think, oh man, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. Yeah. But back then you were just either too cool or just not interested at all.
Yeah, my mom, being from the South, she was like she has 4 sons, so she's like, one of you guys are going to be a football star. None of us. So, but I think it was that push of just like, hey, you've got to do this or whatever. And then we were like, nah, I don't want to do that, Mom, sorry. So we would watch football with her, but we were like, nah, I'm not going to get hit by some guy that's 3 times my size. I'm good.
Yeah, do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 kids.
What are you making them do anything?
No, they can do whatever they want.
I feel like that's the way to do it. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse than you're predestined to do
Yeah.
something by your parents.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's I don't know. I want them to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? I want them. I was telling my girlfriend basically like whatever they want to do. All I'm gonna tell them is actually do it. You know what I mean? Like not just like kind of partially do it or whatever. Don't just like growing up. I wanted to skate, and my dad was like, "Yeah, that's fine or whatever." My mom wanted me to go to school or whatever, and that's fine. But like with my son, if he wants to do football or if he wants to do skating or whatever, I'm gonna be like, "That's fine," but like put the time to it. You know what I mean? Like if you actually want to do it, like I'll take you 6 in the morning, whatever time. I don't really care. Let's actually do it though. Just say you want to do it.
For sure. How old is your son?
3.
Okay, so you got a lot of time.
Yeah,
then.
no, absolutely. Yeah. I've got a lot of anxiety, so I already am thinking about this. You know what I mean? So.
But man, I didn't know what I wanted to do until like now, to be completely
absolutely,
honest.
absolutely. It's a weird thing, especially with like. I don't know, did your parents like force anything on you or anything, or?
Not really. I think I just kind of did what I did and never thought for myself. Like,
Gotcha.
what am I gonna do?
Right.
I just kind of did what I did, what all
Yeah.
my friends did,
Yeah,
and then it came time for me to make decisions for myself, and I was like, oh shit, I have not thought about my future at all.
Yeah, yeah. Were you like in high school? Were you like a super like books guy, or were you like obviously you didn't like plan for the future, but were you at all like maybe this is maybe I like science or maybe I like this class or whatever? Did that ever happen to you or anything?
Well, I've always been a huge reader, writer my entire life. I went to college and got a degree in writing, English type stuff. But it never clicked to me that, like, hey, this is something that we should be doing.
Right. Okay.
And I was taking all of these kind of writing classes in college just for fun because I wanted to do them.
Yeah.
And it still never clicked to me, like, just get a degree in this. You like
that's
it.
cool. That's cool.
But it just took a lot of self-discovery to actually
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
be comfortable with myself and, figure out who I actually am, what I have to contribute
Right. No,
to
absolutely.
society.
Right. That's what I tell my son is like if because I feel like high school is so you have to do your classes, you have to do this, you got to figure your stuff out now so that you can plan for college and plan. It's like you don't half the people I know in my life still don't know what they want to do, and that's okay because we're like 20. You know what I mean? Like you have a whole life ahead of you. You don't not that big a deal. So
Yeah, and I mean, in between ages 18 through 24, which I am now, I feel like I've undergone probably 3 or 4 personality changes.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
just, it's a huge period of adjustment and change.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the fact that a lot of times these massive life decisions are forced on you at such a young age is
Right.
insane.
yeah, it's so trash. Like I said, I mean, I think isn't it like the brain isn't fully developed until like 25 or 26 or something.
Yeah,
like
I've
that?
heard of that.
So how are you gonna say I have to figure this out? I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Like
Exactly. And I've found myself now getting closer to that age, 25. The things that interest me now and that I think are important now are completely different than,
yeah.
say, when I was 21.
Right, yeah. I mean, even I heard, I can't remember where I heard this, but even your tongue, like your taste buds, change like every 5 years.
No shit.
Yeah, so they recommend like if you didn't like something 5 years ago, try it again. You probably like it because your tongue like, changes or whatever. So
Damn,
even
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's wild.
it's weird. Yeah. So even biologically, like your body goes through so many changes, it's hard to say, I'm doing this, I need to do this, and I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Like you got to, I'll do this today, I guess.
When did you start getting into the arts music scene?
I don't know. I think I've always been in it, but like not like as far as like performing or whatever. I think more recently. As far as I recorded my first song 2017 or something like that. It was I had a Skull Candy headphones. It was wrapped in a sock.
Yeah.
That song never released, but I like put it up and then I took it back down. I was like, this sounds like terrible, so I'm not gonna do that. But I think I started taking it seriously like here recently, so like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, Skull Candy was the shit. Like, they were the headphones that you
Yeah,
wanted
dude,
before there was Beats by Dre or
Right,
any
yeah.
of the cool stuff that we have now.
Dude, they had I don't remember the company they collabed with all the time, or maybe it was their company or whatever, but they always had like the ones that were like painted. They had like the monkey on them or whatever, and they'd like be like electric blue or something and have like a design or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
And you could find them all the time on the website. Now you go to the website, it's like 4 pairs of headphones or whatever. But back in the day, they had the over-the-ear ones, and they were like real bulky. They're cool, like them.
Yeah, I still like over-the-ear headphones. I don't
yeah.
have any anymore,
Yeah.
but I rocked a pair of over-the-ear headphones for a solid 2 years.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you do the wireless thing? Like,
No, I didn't have a wireless pair.
Gotcha. Those are cool though.
Yeah.
I don't like wireless simply because I don't know. I feel like there's like a disconnect if my phone's in my pocket and I'm walking and it like wigs out. You know what I mean?
Huh.
I don't know. I've used them maybe like. Granted, I've used like terrible pairs, like the ones the ones that sit on like in front of your ear. I'm talking about where it like plays music through like the bone right
Oh,
here.
yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah, I had a couple of those, and those are okay, but they do that weird disconnect thing. You could be walking and it like loses the signal. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna do wireless then. So.
Yeah. I got a pair of Power Beats Pro like 3 years ago. Best investment ever because they've lasted me this entire time.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, haven't had to worry about it since.
How much are they?
Man, I don't know. I'm sure we could figure it out. It's probably 180, 190.
That's not bad.
Yeah. That little claymation you made on your Instagram that I was messaging you about, that is dope.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's a recent idea that I came up with because my son was watching Paranorman. You ever seen that?
What's that?
It's a claymation movie about this kid who can like see ghosts and talk to them and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's all claymation. I was like, I think I could do that or whatever. And I bought the clay and bought the tools or whatever. And then I didn't do anything with it for a while. And then one day I was like, I got up early for work, and then I ended up not having to work. So I was like, let me just try this real quick. And actually, that day that I posted it, I made all that stuff that day.
That was same day you created it?
Yeah. So I just kind of like whipped it up real quick. Yeah, thank you. I like that. It's definitely still in its early phases. Super choppy, the video. So
yeah, I was curious how you filmed it.
So there's a couple different. I think I have the software on my phone. There's a couple different softwares you can buy, whatever, and there's a free one that you can get off of like the Google Play Store. I don't have it. I think it was like 54 photos in total. You're supposed to be like around 100 to make like a fluid one. Or just try and put something up. So I just did like 54 or something like that.
Is that one of your aspirations? Make something like that, cartoon, film, using claymation at all?
I don't know. To be totally honest, I don't know. I think maybe. I think because it's definitely fun to sculpt and like to make that stuff. But as far as like doing that as like a career, I don't know if I'd be. I don't know if I'd want to do that just because
I'm
it is
sure
a lot of
it's
time.
ridiculously time consuming.
Yeah, because you gotta. What's the hard part is the clay grabs your fingerprints really well. So if you're trying to make like a smooth model, you have to like almost wear gloves with it, and that's a pain in the ass because you've got like the gloves moving while you're trying to. It's too much. What
is your creative vision? Like, what all does it entail?
Any and everything. I don't want to leave any like stone unturned. I want to do claymation. I want to do music videos. I want to do photography. I want to do music overall. I've been dabbling in different sounds for a while. I want to do fashion. I want to do everything. To be totally honest, I just want to try because I figure if I do everything, then I'll eventually find something that I'm like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? And then I can actually I've already done it, so I can put the effort to doing it full time. You know what I mean? So, so I don't know yet. Everything.
Yeah, that's kind of a struggle for me because I feel like I have my hands in a bunch of different things that I want to do. And I've gotten advice before, hey man, stick with one thing and just go really hard at it and you'll pop off of one thing.
Right.
But I would rather take more time and have my hands in a bunch of different things and have it take however much longer than if I was to just focus on one thing, because the more lanes that you have yourself in, just the better off you're going to be in general.
Sure, no, absolutely. Also, because if you do devote your time to one thing and you get really good at it, and then say 10 years down the road you don't want to do that thing anymore, well, it's been 10 years since you've done anything else. Now you have to completely restart. Whereas if you take that 10 years to do the main thing and also do this and also do that, you've at least got a little bit of experience in those. So if you don't want to do that main thing, then you can fall back on a couple other things. So.
Yeah. The worst thing is just being a beginner at anything. It sucks.
Right.
But you just got to grind that part out
Oh,
because
yeah.
you won't be that way forever.
I mean, anything that's worth doing is going to be a pain in the ass to do. So you just got to get through it.
Yeah, just this whole thing just takes time. I think that's something that people don't understand is with art and creation in general.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a quick fix. Like you really have to put time, energy, focus
Right.
into it before one, you're even any good at what you're trying to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
And then two, before people even begin to take notice at all of what
Right.
you're doing.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, like, you hear artists all the time. Like, there's a video of Ashan and Kai Colors talking, and they were asked like, "What got you here?" or whatever, and then they were like, "It took like 5 years of playing shows for nobody and like doing stuff for free, and like it takes a lot. A lot of people, I think, see the creative side, whether it be music or art or designing or podcasts or shows or anything like that, and think, oh, well, that's a quick check. I can do that pretty easily. But they don't see buying equipment and going to test stuff, and then you get in a piece of equipment, it doesn't work. What are you going to do now? Or if you're an artist, you got a show, but you show up and everybody else, so you're performing in front of 2 people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people see it as like a get rich quick scheme kind of thing, but then don't realize when they get here, like, nah, this is like hard work. Like you got to really put it.
And you can't take shortcuts, especially with art in general, but anything in life.
Oh, yeah.
There
absolutely.
are no shortcuts around just good old-fashioned hard work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because especially in music, you can hear shortcuts. You know what I mean? If you just kind of like, not to shit on auto-tune, because auto-tune's fine, but if you just are like, well, I can't really sing, I'm just going to force this to work. You know what I mean? Or force that to work, or just do a little bit of this and just kind of get stuff out there to get stuff out there, then people can tell. You know what I mean? They're going to see that and be like, yeah, it sounds okay, but like forced it. It's not really that good. So.
Yeah, and the stuff that's professionally done is what sticks around and gets
Right,
listened to
right.
years and years later.
Right. Yeah, no, it's.
That's one thing that is that mic working?
Yeah, no, I just like looking at different
Oh,
equipment. I've got a weird fascination with like musical equipment, because like I would grow up watching music videos and I would just see microphones. So when I see microphones like this, I'm like I'm holding one.
Yeah, I took a class up here at the studio,
Oh, really?
and one of the days was learning about actually how a mic works
Oh, that's
and
cool.
how it gets through like the wire into the board and
That's
then into
cool.
your computer, and it's really kind of mind-blowing that
Yeah, no,
somebody
it's weird.
was able to put this whole contraption
Right,
together.
yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's insane. How, like I want to see like the first like microphone to any like interface thing. You know what I mean? Like I wonder what that looks like. Somebody, just has like a loose wire. I was like, yeah, this might work. Like, how do you think of that?
Yeah, I think what Els was saying, the teacher and the owner of this studio, is that the guys who made the type of board that they have in the other studio were the same engineers who made the first Mercedes engine or something like that.
What? Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's
just
cool.
crazy smart guys.
Yeah, that's insane. It's crazy how like how closely how similar things are on a mechanical level. Like you said, like the soundboard and a car engine. It's crazy how like both of those are kind of similar. Like I work on appliances or whatever, and like a washing machine motor is like the same you'd find in like a lawnmower or a car. Weird. It's I don't know. Mechanical stuff is like very similar.
That's something that I wish I would have gotten more of growing up. I was just never as hands-on, I feel like, as I should be.
Yeah.
Like I can get by doing little DIY home
Sure,
projects,
sure,
but
sure.
if my car were to break down on the side of the road, it would be bad news for me.
Oh yeah, no, I can't work on cars. I just can tell when something's an issue. You know what I mean? Like I can say, oh,
Yeah.
that engine is bad. I don't know how to fix it, but
But if your car back in the 60s was to break down, you could change your own oil, you could fix most of the stuff, but with how complex the cars are now,
Dude, it's insane.
you're shit out of luck.
Yeah,
You will have no idea what you're doing.
yeah, I mean I think a lot of cars are, if you get a bad transmission, you might as well just get a new car. Like
Yeah, they're
like,
expensive.
Yeah, like you're saying back in the day, I'm sure they could have fixed like 2 parts and it'd been good. Like now it's like, nope, just get a new one. It's fine.
Yeah, at my apartment, I was going through on the little like newsletter that they have on the internet, and people were going around and stealing the catalytic converters out of people's cars.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's a hustle that people are
yeah.
doing, just going around and jacking.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a while now. You'll get your catalytic converter taken, your pipes taken, pretty much anything on the bottom of the car that you can. It's like a screw, and you take it off, you can take it. Because a lot of those guys will either put those on new cars and sell them, or they'll take the metal and then because you can get metal bought by the pound or whatever, so they'll just take the metal off of it and just go get like $100 or something.
That would be the worst way to make a
Yeah.
living that
Yeah,
I
it's
can
not fun.
possibly imagine. But it's tough out here. People
Yeah,
do what they
gotta
gotta
it.
do, I
Yeah,
guess.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, you can't judge.
Yeah, no. I don't knock anybody for their hustle, but some hustles are more annoying than others. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
obviously, do
as
what
l-
you're...
Yeah, as long as your hustle isn't hurting somebody else,
Right,
it's
right.
totally fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, even if it's like, I don't know, I feel like the dudes stealing catalytic converters, like, if you need it, then whatever. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, to be honest, getting that fixed isn't that bad of a cost. You know what I mean? So, I mean, even those guys technically are hurting people, but it's like, all right, dude, take it, whatever.
I'm a big believer, though, in karmic justice.
Oh,
If
yeah, no,
you're,
absolutely.
regardless of whether you think it or not, I think
Yeah.
the energy you put out there, if it's bad, it will come back to you
Oh, for
in
sure.
some fashion eventually.
For sure. I just meant that like certain facets of life, it's hard to say because of certain people have only have seen that. You know what I mean? Like when I was in the South, you'd have dudes, picking up cans on the side of the road from like a kid. You know what I mean? That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not hurting anybody, but like if you've grown up with that, then I'm not going to necessarily knock you for it. Obviously, it's hurting people and it's kind of annoying, but like it's not necessarily your fault. That's my only thing. So.
Yeah, and I mean, there are worse things that could happen
Oh,
to
for
you,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the karmic justice thing is definitely something I believe in, and I've kind of been keeping it in mind these days more. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
do I really want to do this? Like, because all of your actions have consequences.
Sure.
And that's a tough lesson to learn.
Sure. Absolutely.
So you have a project coming out? Is
I
that
do.
what I understand?
I do, yeah. I've got a, I don't know, LP kind of thing. I call it an album, but it's only 8 tracks. So,
That's an album?
is it?
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I think it's like a LP or something. But yeah, album. That's coming out, I think, late October or something like that. So,
Tell me about that. What's gone into the process?
yeah, a lot. So I work with this producer named David, and David Swanson. He does a lot of. He's like very influenced by jazz and stuff like that. And he plays all live instruments and stuff like that. So I hit him up and I was like, I want to do a project that's completely produced by you, just because I like the sound of like live guitars and live drums and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's. I mean, we did a song a while ago called "Old Laces" / "Coping," and it has that same sound, and it did really well. And I was like, okay, I kind of like that sound or whatever. Because for a while, I was like kind of trying to find the sound that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Because I was doing more of a funk sound, more like heavy bass, more like scream vocals or whatever. But I was like, I don't really want to do that for this one. This one's going to be a little bit more heartfelt. And so I was like, I think jazz would be more complimentary. So I was like, yeah, I want to have this produced by you or whatever. So it's been cool, man. He, like I said, he recorded all the instruments live and he sent them over like one by one and let me pick from all of them. I think he made, there's 8 tracks and I think he made like 15 beats or something like that. We just like, which I don't know how you do that. Like, I don't know how you do like 15 different like, compositions of live instruments that all sound completely different. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm sure that sounds awesome because one of the things about really old music that sounds so nostalgic is the way that it was recorded. And
Oh, yeah.
mostly it's
Yeah.
live instrumentation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's like a weird ring to instruments when they're recorded live. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I still like MIDI drums and stuff like that. They sound good, but like, there's like a feedback you get with like live drums. It sounds nice. I don't know what it is. It sounds way better.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that you want, especially in today's music game, is just anything you can do to sound different.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, there's this Billie Eilish track that I love so much that just came out of her new album. And just the way that her vocals are mixed, like her presence on the track, it's different.
Sure,
And it
yeah.
hits your ears and you're like, this is different and I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because there's so much out there right now that sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's just whatever you can do to sound different and create a lane for yourself is gonna be good.
Also, not to mention, like when you try to sound like somebody, it bogs your creativity down so much. And that was kind of what I was running into when I was making funk. Was like, I've made this song before. It's different lyrics and it's technically a different beat, but I've made this song before. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
When you start taking your craft a little bit more seriously and start getting different sounds and things like that and opening your ears up to different stuff, you get so much more inspiration. It's crazy.
Right.
So
What kind of advice would you have to somebody like me who I've always been pretty insecure about recording music? It's something I've always kind of wanted to do. I've never actually put any music out. I've put a lot of other things out, but I feel like music and expressing myself that way is kind of like the last stand of,
yeah.
like, okay, if I can do this, then it's all out there in the open.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if you were to go on here, I probably have 100 or so songs that I've recorded.
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
I feel like I'm really still searching for a sound that I want to use and that I like.
Sure.
So how did you kind of discover that about yourself?
So I can't remember who told me this, but a friend of mine from South Carolina basically sat me down or whatever, and was like, "You're gonna die one day. So are you gonna worry about what you think other people are gonna think of your stuff, or are you just gonna put it out for you?" And so I was like, "Okay, that's fair." so to answer the first question, what I would tell you is just put it out. Honestly, I mean, whether you're insecure about it or not, just throw it out there. Who gives a shit? Like, there's so many people who. On a funnier note, there's so many people who put stuff out that sounds awful that thinks it sounds good. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're actually putting passion behind it, I'm sure it sounds amazing. And if you actually care about it, you know what I mean? That's even better. So, I would say just put it out there, whatever. The process of me finding my sound was heavily influenced by just the people I was around. I've grown up listening to heavy metal and deathcore stuff and just a lot of like heavier sounds. And so it was just a natural thing. I tried different sounds. I have a couple tracks out that are like lighter hearted and more trap rappy, but I don't live that life, so I'm not gonna make that stuff. So but yeah, just honestly, the best thing to do to find your sound is just really dig deep and figure out who you've been hanging out with and what you like about the people you've been hanging out with. So I was a part of a deathcore band. I was lead scream vocals or whatever, and that influenced it a lot because I was like, I like this sound. I just don't want to do screams all the time. So how can I put this heavy stuff into my stuff with the darker themes and things like that, while also doing more melodic stuff as far as beats and things like that are concerned. So it was just influenced mainly by bands that I would listen to and people that I was hanging around with that I genuinely enjoyed their presence and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like I like this theme of stuff and I like hearing this kind of stuff. Just basically make what you like to hear to start it off. If you like Billie Eilish or like indie sounding stuff, try that. If you don't like making that stuff, but you like listening to it, maybe put a heavier tone on it or a lighter tone on it. Try different aspects of hip hop because hip hop is, there's so many subcategories in it. So you could find something. You could do, I don't know, you could do Norwegian deathcore EDM rap. You know what I mean? Like you could do something like that. Like you could figure out something that one, nobody's done before, but also that you really genuinely like doing, and then you can just start putting that out.
Oh yeah, the subgenres in music and hip hop in particular are so awesome.
Yeah, dude. I can't remember what it was called, but there's one that I love so much. It's I think it's called like I think this is wrong, but I think it's called like not music or something like that. It's basically just complete offbeat drums, banging on the guitar, screaming your vocals or whatever. It's terrible sounding, but when you like look at the art behind it, it's beautiful. It's so sick.
Offbeat drums, I've been told, are how you make it sound good. Like make the
Yeah.
drums just slightly offbeat, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tiny little bit.
That's what I mean. Like sonically, it sounds weird, but like when you listen to the song, you're like, no, this is sick. This is awesome. Like there's one, I can't remember the guy, but he's rapping about McDonald's. Like he's just yelling about McDonald's, and there's like banging drums in the back and like a guitar that's barely on beat. It's so sick. It's cool.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds cool. But I love that perspective that you were talking about earlier, that you're gonna die someday, so you might as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And give people something to remember you by too. That's
Right.
something that's kind of important to me is how do I want to be remembered?
Right.
I don't know why that's important to me. It's kind of shallow, but
Not really though, because I mean, I feel like in this Especially nowadays when everything is online and everything is viewed and everything is watched and all that kind of stuff. It's almost implied that you have to have something left for you or left for people to remember you by. So not necessarily like fame or anything like that, but like say you have a kid and then he has a kid and then years later you're like, hey, what did he do? And then you find some music and you're like, oh shit, this is really good. Or you find one of these interviews and like, oh wow, he's a good interviewer or whatever. You just got to put stuff out there that you like doing so that later on people are like, oh yeah, he was really good at that. That's cool. So
That just blew my mind to think, okay, my kid someday maybe will look at my Instagram
Yeah.
or see this interview.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're going to leave behind so much more than, say, our parents' generation did.
Oh yeah. Our parents left faded photos and milk cartons
Yeah,
and stuff.
literally, like, the only thing you'll have from them are, like, an old-fashioned photo album.
Right, yeah. Back in my day, this car ran on carrot juice. All right, Grandma.
Seriously. No, but that's what we're going to be saying, too.
Yeah.
As ridiculous as those people sound, our parents and grandparents, all of the things that we're doing right now, which are talking into a mic, we use these cell phones and this laptop.
Yeah, it's gonna look
all going to
weird.
seem so stupid to
Yeah.
kids. And
Or it won't. What's cool also that I like thinking about is the progression of stuff. What if like, because we use these cell phones and your laptop and this interface and the camera and everything, and it's like top-notch stuff right now. But like looking back, I wonder if this is gonna look like really primal. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they're still using like wired microphones and like a phone in their hand instead of attached to their hand.
I think every aspect of society is going to change.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the way we drive our cars is already super antiquated.
Yeah. It's cool.
But I even wonder, like, how long are we going to be in these, like, fleshy monkey bodies?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
'Cause I feel like it's already going. It's already going that way. We're uploading more and more, as we just said, of ourselves to the internet.
Oh yeah.
How long is it going to be until you can just completely go in there?
Right. Yeah. That's gonna be. You remember that Dave Chappelle? I think it was Dave Chappelle. Yeah, the skit where if the internet was a real store.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, oh, dude, it's so funny. It's like, or if the internet was a real place, he like went to the mall or whatever, and some guy was like, "Hey, you want to go to the internet?" And he's like, "Sure, whatever." And he goes in this room or whatever, and like Ron Jeremy comes out or whatever. It's so funny. but yeah, that'll be a reality. Like you could, like you're saying, like you could dive in one day. You'll be able to be like, "Huh, I like this place. Let me just go real quick and teleport over there or some shit."
Somebody's going to find a way to finesse a shitload of money out of it. Like, you'll be on death's doorstep and you'll be able to purchase like a plan. Like, okay, do you want 5 gigabytes of your memories uploaded after you die? Okay,
That's
this
so
much.
funny.
You want 100 gigabytes? Okay, it costs this much.
Yeah.
And instead of like today, how you go and pick out like a casket or a cremation and just be, all right, how much of your life do you want to be able to remember on the internet?
The picture of the Reaper with a time glass floating in his hand? It's gonna be a solid state drive instead, like a big hard drive.
I think even social media is going to go away. We were talking about, okay, yeah, our kids will see us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram will probably be gone in
Probably
50 years.
Yeah,
It'll
but
be
it'll be
something-
archived though, so I'm sure you could, because like the Wayback Machine, whatever online, I'm sure you could still access Instagram pages through
What's that?
So it's basically like a website where you can, if you have like a URL or something close enough to what you're searching for, you can go back and find it in the archives of the internet.
Even if it's been deleted?
Yeah. So you can go back and find like old web pages or old posts, and that's what I was saying. They might eventually, when if Instagram is eradicated, I'm sure you could use that to go back, like Duff Radio Instagram page or whatever on the Wayback Machine and find your stuff.
So there really is truly no way to completely delete something off of the internet.
Nope. It's all there.
Like, where does it go? If you were to delete, say, your Instagram page, like, what is it, just sitting on a server somewhere?
Yeah, so it'll. I think with apps, and I don't know enough about this to say for sure, but I think with apps, I think there's a core server that stores all of it. So if you delete a post, it's gone, but they have it. Like Instagram can like pull that back up or whatever. So I don't know.
I think the weirdest one is Snapchat, because you
Snapchat's
know that they have Snapchat. It's fun and cute, and the idea of it is like, oh, you get to see this picture for 10 seconds and it's gone.
Right.
But
It's not
you
gone.
know they have a server there with literally every single picture that you've
Yeah,
ever
dude.
sent to somebody.
What creeps me out about it though is I wonder if there's, and I'm sure there is, I wonder if there's people that can see that stuff, like that work at Snapchat. You know what I mean?
Some
Like when it's
dude's
the,
just like his
yeah,
job is just scrolling through like millions of people's
right,
bullshit
yeah.
every day. How do you
He's
get that
just,
job though? That would be insane.
that, yeah, I don't know what you would apply for, but I'm sure there's some guy up there that's just like watching like people post a gun or something like that. And they're like, ugh, again, come on.
Huh. That is really crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's it's scary, but it's also very in the way of art. It's very relieving because like back in the day when they were making paintings and everything, I don't think they thought that it would last until today. You know what I mean? Because it's paint. I'm sure paint lasts a long time, but like a lot of stuff happens, especially back then because they didn't have a lot of like fires and war and stuff like that. That stuff could destroy that stuff. So they're like, well, how is this painting going to survive all that? You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's stuck on your machine. There's really no way to get it out. Like, you know what I mean? You could burn that laptop right now, but this recording would still be there.
It's the same thing though now. It's just different circumstances. If there's a solar flare or whatever,
Yeah.
all of the satellites are going to be taken out, and then it's like we're back to square one.
I guess you're right, yeah. I was thinking more just like with the actual product itself. Because back then there was no security. Now we have like a solid thing that we can go back on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
That's
for
just
sure.
what I meant. So
Yeah. How wild would that be though if all of the satellites did go out?
I think we'd die. I don't know. Like
I mean,
a lot of
yeah,
stuff is run on that. Like
I don't know what we would even do
Yeah.
because like your money is on a satellite now.
Yeah.
Most people don't carry around cash.
I have
Like
a
you-
$20 bill at my house. This is the first time I've carried cash in like a month.
Yeah, we would all be completely fucked. There'd
Yeah.
be no society anymore.
Yeah, especially because if the satellites go out and you don't have cash already on you, you can't get it out of the bank. They
Yeah,
have no
how
way
are
to get
you?
it out.
How are you gonna prove like, oh, I had $8,000 in the bank?
Right.
Like, just trust me, it was all in there.
Yeah.
It's not even real.
Yeah. Money's not real.
It really isn't. I mean, you just saw it. That's proven by how the government can just print out
No,
whatever
yeah,
$1
yeah,
trillion and just like, okay,
Isn't
it
that, like-
appears and here you all
Right.
go.
Isn't that messed up that the government can print money, but if you do, it's a felony? It's fucked.
I wonder how do you even get a money printer? Like,
I don't know. I think you can just use, this is going to sound stupid, but I think you can just use a regular printer, can't you?
I don't know.
I don't
You'd have
know.
to like, what is money actually made out of? Because it's not the paper that you can just like go and buy from Target or whatever.
I don't know. I think it is, isn't it? It's just like cardstock or something, right? No, cardstock's way thick. Never mind.
I don't know. What is it made out of? I've never thought of this
I'm gonna
before.
look this up. I'm gonna look this up. This
Yeah,
is
we
not
should.
professional, but I'm gonna look it up.
I love when you can just sit there and you're like, oh, I don't know. What is it? I don't know. What is it? Meanwhile, you literally have like a supercomputer in your pocket.
That's another thing. Is back in the day, they're like, "Hey, I wonder what this is made out of." Okay.
They just had to live with it. The amount of bullshit that was probably spread, just like somebody heard one thing and there was
yeah.
nothing around to fact check it, so it just got spread throughout an entire community of people.
Right. Yeah. Moon's cheese, man.
I haven't heard that in so long.
So Federal Reserve notes are a blend of 25% linen and 75% cotton.
So it's not even
paper.
really paper at
That's
all.
weird. Money's weird.
Linen and cotton.
Linen and cotton. Crazy. How do you? I don't even get in that process. How do you even press linen and cotton to make a bill? So
Well, it's
weird.
not like they even printed out thousands of $1 bills. It was just
Right.
like they sent a check to people in the mail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I mean, it's weird because that's everything in society. We said money's not real. I mean, nothing's real. The stop sign that you stop at, like if we all just decided one day, like, okay, the red light means go and green means you
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
Like, okay, everything is only as we say it is, and nothing
yeah.
is concrete. Nothing has true meaning.
Yeah, I got into an argument with a coworker of mine when I worked at an internet company, and he was like, "Well, no, products are determined by value," and blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, but all of that is made up." Like he's like, "Well, no," but I was like, "How do you know how much something is? Because someone told you how much it is, so you can just tell them it's different, and then now they think it's different. Like everything that we have is not." Anything. It's just whatever the general consensus for that thing is. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I mean, it's just whatever we value it as. We
Right.
decided that this watermelon is $4 or whatever.
yeah, it's weird.
It is
Society's
weird.
weird.
Being a human is the weirdest thing
So
of all
sorry.
time.
I mean to hit that.
Oh, we're still good.
Cool.
Yeah, I went through your discography not too long ago and just listened to all your stuff.
Cool.
And you definitely have a super unique sound.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you're coming out with. Do you
Yeah,
have any features on there at all?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is a Duff Radio exclusive.
Ooh,
So Swanson is going to be doing some vocals on there.
fire,
Damo has a verse on there.
fire.
And then there's guest features. Well, they're not features; they're guest appearances by Mighty Casual and Leezy Hawk.
It's gonna be a good track then.
Yeah, it's a fire. So Mighty Casual, and I'll break it down. I don't care. Mighty Casual is going to be talking to me. We recorded a phone conversation that's going to lead into the first track, and then Leezy Hawk has a voicemail that he sent me that is going to be on, I think, the third track. And then Damo is going to be on, I believe, second or fourth, and then Swanson is on, I think, the fifth song. So that's kind of all.
I was curious kind of who your collective is as far as music goes, like the guys that you
Yeah.
run around with. Is it mostly them?
Yeah, pretty much all of WAP Gang. All those dudes were super welcoming. Pretty much everybody I like, associate with were always very welcoming. You know what I mean? Like they were just like, yeah, you want to do this? That's cool. Let's do it. So Swanson, David, which actually Swanson and David are brothers.
Oh, okay.
And then Damo and Civ and Bump Jonas and pretty much all those guys. I mean, Mighty Casual and Connor and all those guys. So
Okay, so you're kind of tapped in with the same circle that I am a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, all amazing people.
Dude, the best people. Like,
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people through just the Kansas City music scene alone, and there's a lot of sketchy people, which I mean that's in any industry. That's not surprising. But the people that I've kept contact with are like the best people I've ever met in my life, like genuinely. So
Yeah, I graduated from school a couple months ago in May.
oh,
And
congratulations.
hey, thanks. I had it in my mind, like, okay, I just want to take this and go somewhere else. I was
Right.
waiting to graduate so I could just move somewhere else. Then I really thought about it, and the team that I have here and the people here make it really tough to leave.
Oh yeah.
Like, you'd be hard pressed to find this somewhere else.
Dude,
People
yeah.
who are as genuine and actually going to care about you
Right.
and the things that you're doing. So this is home for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I talk with Bump a lot, and there really isn't any other music scene like the Kansas City music scene. Like a lot of people kind of overlook Kansas City for whatever reason, but like there's a lot of people. I mean, one thing that I can say that I've seen, just my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. And the one thing that I've noticed especially about here is the music scene and the art scene are so intertwined. It's really cool. Like you go to a show and you've got, your performer, your headliner or whatever, and then over here you got someone painting and then someone selling t-shirts or whatever. It's like all together. It's really cool. So,
Yeah, it is for sure. I've lived here, like I said, for about 2 years, and there's still so much that I haven't experienced. And I'm super excited to just keep putting myself out
Yeah,
there,
same.
keep meeting new people, and just
yeah.
see where it takes me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to go like more shows or whatever. I've never been to a concert, but I want to go to like a lot of them around here, like a lot of underground shows or whatever, because they just look so cool. Especially at Sean's. Sean has like the coolest shows. He'll just have like a little room or whatever. Have you seen his? They're so cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy too.
Yeah.
I've bumped into him 3 or 4 times, and he's always been just super friendly.
I've
super
never met
welcoming.
him, but I've talked to him on Instagram, and every time he's just like, he's one of those, him and Mighty Casual are those dudes that like you've never talked to before, but when you talk to them, they've like act like they've known you for 5 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They're cool.
Yeah, me and Mighty just had an interview the other day,
Yeah,
and I mean, he's somebody that you can just talk to forever, and you're like,
yeah.
you are one of the best people on the planet.
Yeah, literally, yeah. He's super cool. Such a nice guy.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys have a track together. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, it's actually technically our second track. We actually had one recorded. It was released a while back ago, but that was just kind of that was actually the first track that when I first met him, I was like, "Yo, let's do something." And then I had a beat from a guy in Ireland, and he was like, "Yeah, I want that one." So
From a dude in Ireland?
yeah, I met a guy from Ireland, and me and him did like, I think I have like 5 songs with him or something like that. So
That's such a cool thing about the internet is you can meet people from anywhere.
yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Like on SoundCloud, I follow this producer who's from like Japan or Vietnam or somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
And the beats are insane, but you never know what like any of the captions or titles are. It's all just like hieroglyphic things.
Yeah.
It's like I have no idea what you're trying to communicate to me,
Yeah.
but the beats are amazing.
That's so cool. Dude, I love Japan's sound. There's a guy. Do you know who Lord Kiyoshi is?
I don't think so.
Okay, he's a producer here in Kansas City, and he has a very like Japan influenced sound. He does a lot of like high notes and a lot of different samples and stuff like that. It's such a cool sound, especially in like hip hop beats or whatever. Like, Japan music is already amazing. You know what I mean? But put over drums and stuff like that sounds so sick.
And I need to just widen my variety of music that I'm listening to, because I had like 3,000 or 4,000 songs on my phone.
Oh, cool.
And then my SoundCloud account got taken down, so I lost all of it
Why did
recently.
it get taken down?
I was uploading copyrighted music, and eventually they're just like, "Yeah, buddy, you gotta go."
That's so funny, dude. Did you? I can't remember what interview it was. Did you hear how Soulja Boy got like really famous?
What do you mean?
So like when he was first starting out, do you remember LimeWire? You could like
LimeWire, me and Jamal were just talking about this.
Really?
LimeWire
That's
was
cool.
like a little bit before my time.
Oh, okay.
How old are you?
25.
Oh man, I'm 24.
Oh,
Like,
okay, cool.
maybe it was just me then. I didn't
no.
have LimeWire.
That's fine. I mean, I had just found out about it like just from my friends because you could like illegally download big songs or whatever.
Yeah.
But Soulja Boy would, and not to out him obviously because I'm not. I mean, this isn't whatever. But he would upload his songs with the names of big hit songs.
Oh,
So,
classic.
yeah. So Jay-Z had a song out. He'd be like Jay-Z, blah blah blah, and they'd play it, and it'd be like whatever Soulja was releasing, and then he'd get like thousands of plays because everybody thought it was something else, and that's how he got big.
It's not a terrible idea, but I hate when people do it.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty smart. Like if that was still acceptable today, I'd do it.
Yeah, I didn't have LimeWire, but I can remember my process was I would just go on Google and type in like whatever
Yeah.
MP3 download and just like
Yeah,
click on
yeah.
the first thing that I could see.
Yeah. Did you ever
And-
do the YouTube to MP3 download?
Oh yeah, I use that
Yeah,
like
that was
pretty
cool.
much every day.
Yeah, that's
still
cool.
to this day. That website is amazing.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Achilles, who just walked through here, said that it's been that same way for the last like 10 years.
Oh, the same format or whatever?
Same
Yeah.
website, and it still works to this day.
Yeah, no, it's sick. Yeah, I just downloaded a Scream song that I'm gonna sample later on. Yeah, I used that. It's so easy too. Literally just type the URL in. It's like, okay, you can download it. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
somebody that was in the class, one of my classmates in here earlier, he had no idea how to use it. He was like, "What is this?"
What?
I was like, "You've just been a good person this whole time, I
Just
guess.
been a
You've
good
never
person."
ripped off any producer or done anything
Yeah.
illegal. Like, good for you though, not me."
Yeah, that's cool. That's just funny. The image of someone looking at the YouTube to MP3 format and be like, what?
But also, like, you should be able to look at this for probably 15, 20 seconds and figure out the concept
Right.
of what's going on.
Right. Like URL download. Okay, got it.
Do you produce at all?
No, I don't. I'm awful at it.
Yeah, I try every now and then, but it's one of those things that you really have to put so much time into it.
Yeah, you got to learn all that stuff, man. There's a lot of like, it goes back to that thing where people just jump into it thinking that it's one thing when it's not. You really have to put effort into it. Because I thought because I bought a Novation Launchpad and I was like, okay, I can figure out drum patterns and all that kind of stuff. There's like orientation of the drums, like how to like set them in there correctly, and like different velocities and stuff like that, and like just a bunch of different stuff that all matter. You know what I mean? Like to make it actually sound good and layered and stuff like that. That I was just like, I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah, for me, I go through just patterns of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Like earlier in the summer, I had probably 2 months where I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm producing."
Right.
And then I was just one day, I'm just like, "I am bored of this, so do something else." And then I'll do that for however long, and then just bored of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, some people are just really consistent with their grind on one thing, but that's just never been me, I guess.
Yeah, but it's almost smarter to be like you are, because it's more, you've got more time to do more things to find what you actually like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it goes back to that thing. If you devote all your time to one thing, that's fine. If you get really good at it and you like it, but if you're not sure of something, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, I just don't like forcing anything.
oh, absolutely.
And if you are trying to force it, it's not going to be very good.
No,
Like
because you
even
can
these,
tell.
yeah, even like these interviews were the first thing that I ever did. Like it was my first idea. Like this is something I'm going to run with. And so at the beginning of this year, January, this is kind of what I was doing.
Gotcha.
And I did 5 or 6 of these. And then, like I said, I was just, I'm done.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in it at the moment. And now kind of picking back up, and it's something that I'm excited to do again.
Yeah, I will say you're a good interviewer. Like you like actually like talk to people. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
That's
it.
cool. That's cool.
Dude, I'm glad to hear that because there was a show up here and they asked me to host it and do like in between sets, like a 3 to 5 minute interview with each person.
That'd be cool.
And I was so rusty. I had no clue what to say to anybody.
That'd be hard. That'd be so
Yeah.
sick.
And you can't get to know somebody in 3 to 5 minutes. So it was kind of just like, what's your name? Like, what do you do? And that's
How
why
are you
things,
feeling tonight?
yeah, that's why things like this are important, man. Long form conversations where you can actually get to know people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In this world where everything is just a 10-second clip of something.
Yeah. You remind me of like old school Adam 22.
Oh man, that's a compliment.
Not new school, because new school he didn't care, but old school back when he had like the like 2 hour interviews or whatever, where he was actually like diving deep into people. That's cool.
Yeah, and he inspired me a lot to first get started doing this because he had all of the upcoming artists before they were huge.
Dude,
so his interviews with like X or Lil Pump or whoever have today like millions upon millions of views.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've always viewed something like this as just an investment.
Right.
Because if you have an interview with, say, you take off in 5 years, like, okay, this interview will be classic because it's you before the fame and before you had a song that's on Billboard or whatever.
Dude, X's interview before he blew up with Adam 22 was phenomenal. It was so cool watching like him like. I think that was the interview where he was talking just like, he's like, I'm going to do this stuff. And then he actually like ended up doing all of it. You can go back and be like, holy crap, he like really did that. That's cool.
Yeah, the one thing I remember from that interview that stuck with me a lot is, I think if we're thinking of the same one, there might be multiple.
I think so.
But he said, Adam says, okay, so how old are you? And he goes, I don't want to tell you that because if I tell you my age, all that does is it allows people to judge me based off just that number. But my age is not correlated to the amount of knowledge or life experience that I have.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so cool. That's
hard. I thought that was brilliant. It's crazy that he's dead.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, there was that run there where like he died, Mac Miller died, just everybody was like Juice WRLD died.
It's heavy. It's a fucking lot. Like those, like a lot of people, like whether they want to admit it or not, you got Lil Peep, you got Pump, and you got Smoke Perp, and you got X, and you got Suicide Boys, and you got Puya, and all those guys. They really, again, whether you want to admit it or not, really laid the groundwork for underground music. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that we see, a lot of the trends, a lot of the people, a lot of the sounds were all cultivated by them. So, they're already gone. It's just hard. Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that I don't think gets talked about very much is in music, in the music scene, in arts, anything creative, really, it is so heavily influenced by drugs and addiction. Like, everybody is using something, and it's something that not everyone wants to talk about, but when you really break it down, like, a lot of people are addicts in this industry.
And it's sad, but it's good to talk about simply for the fact that, like you said, a lot of people in this industry are dealing with a lot of stuff. And a lot of people have their demons and stuff like that they have to fight. And so I can't think of a better way for someone to relate to someone than music. You know what I mean? Like you can, like if X would have just continued, you know what I mean? Like just being, or any of them, just continue just being in the street and dealing with their problems and not saying anything, and we wouldn't have a lot of the stuff we have, a lot of the resources people hold on to. Because even today, I mean, I meet people all the time, they're like, X saved my life, or Puya saved my life, or whatever, you know what I mean? And so like, it's just really cool to see like yeah, we had a lot of people in this industry have our issues, but it's also almost that silver lining is just the fact that talking about these really raw emotions and things that people go through are a way for people to get out of them. You know what I mean? It's kind of almost paradoxical in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool to see.
Well, what's so shitty about human nature in general is you tend not to realize how much you care or need or love somebody until they're gone.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And so like when Kobe died, or really any of these guys who die young or tragically, something like that, they automatically engrave themselves forever.
Oh yeah.
Just because like it was a young death. It's tragic. But it's unfortunate that it takes something like that to wake you up. It's like, oh, this person was amazing.
Oh yeah.
You should have recognized them for this a long time ago.
Right, yeah. That's why it's important to give people their flowers immediately. If you
Yeah.
see something that you like, say it. I'm so over like acting cool. You know what I mean? I hate it. It's so stupid. It like if I like meeting you totally up front, it was cool as shit that you reached out to me. I was like, oh, cool, this is awesome. Mighty Casual. I was a big fan of him, and then he was like, hey, let's have the link in the bio show or whatever. Freaked out. It was cool. And so like seeing people that you enjoy their craft and not saying it because you're wanting to be cool or wanting to act a certain way around them or whatever is so lame. Just fan out. Like be like, hey, I love your stuff. You helped me, or hey, I love your stuff. Keep going or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just say that now, because if they do pass, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're not rational about it because in reality, you know for a fact that, okay, this could be the last time that I see you.
Right.
This could be the last time that you speak on the phone to your mom or your sister or whoever. So, in theory, if you know that, you should be every single time like, I love you so much,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
But you can't wrap your head around those emotions. And I mean, that translates all the way up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't wrap your head around the fact that you're just a little talking monkey on a rock floating through space. Because
Yeah.
like, you would go insane if you were
Yeah.
just constantly thinking so massively big picture
Right.
all the time.
Right. Which shout out to old philosophers because that's what they did.
Right.
Like losing their mind every day and being like, someone's like, "What's the sun?" They're like, "I don't know."
Like, could you imagine being who's the guy that like Aristotle, I think,
Yeah,
who
one of
actually
those
had
guys.
like brilliant, really forward thinking ideas, kind
Yeah.
of figured like this whole shit out.
Insane.
And he's just surrounded by complete idiots who are like, actually, you're wrong and we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
And he's just
dude.
like, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. Yeah, that's crazy.
But what else was there to do back then? Like, you didn't have the internet. I guess it
don't
was
know.
either like
Herd
the
goats.
people who were really smart and enlightened thought about those things, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
else just like tilled the soil and
Yeah,
waited until
herd
they
goats and
died.
shit, yeah. Yeah, that's wild. Like, it's cool. It's also cool that like back in the day, sitting around and thinking about stuff was a job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's cool. I like that.
Well, you almost have to force yourself to sit down and think these days, or at least that's what I think,
Oh, yeah.
because it's so easy. Like, if you're waiting on something to load or you're in the line at the cash register or whatever, you can so easily just occupy a matter of like a minute or
Oh,
two
yeah.
on your
Yeah,
phone.
absolutely.
It's rare that you have to go out of your way to not be stimulated by something
Mm-hmm.
24/7.
Oh yeah, and what's kind of scary that I've noticed, I don't know if it's like super apparent, but I've seen little bits of it, is if you do take that second to like think about stuff or like zone out or whatever, people think that like you're like losing your mind or whatever. Like if you saw somebody just sitting like staring off into space, you'd be like, oh, they're on drugs or something. You know what I mean? Like people don't really like we've become so used to occupying our time, like you were saying, that now if you see someone just thinking, you're like, something's up with them.
Yeah, and it's almost frowned upon because we live in a society where you constantly have to be doing something,
Yeah.
going somewhere, doing
It's a
this.
coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like there's that mentality of out of sight, out of mind. Instead of dealing with your stuff, just be super busy. You don't got to deal with your
Yeah.
emotions. Someone broke up with you, get 3 jobs. It's fine. You won't have to worry
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, but what people don't realize, or at least this is true to me, is that when you actually do take the time to slow down and you get off your phone and kind of get away from the stimuli of like everything and just quiet your mind for 30 minutes or whatever, that's when all the good ideas
yeah.
start coming.
Yeah,
When you
absolutely.
just are uninterrupted with whatever flow of ideas that just somehow pops into your brain.
It's crazy. Like I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I'll like get like the flow of thoughts, and then you like recap everything. You're like, how did I get to here thinking about this? It's just weird how
yeah.
stuff like falls into each other.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
had that
Jesus.
happen to me today, this morning, where like your mind kind of just runs and runs, and then you snap back into it, and you're like, oh shit, like I was not
Yeah.
here for the last like 10 minutes.
I saw a TikTok of which fucking TikTok, but I saw a video of a guy, and it was like when you're driving and you remember that you're driving, and this guy
Oh
goes,
yeah, That happens to me all the time.
Thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. I was worried for a while because I would tell my girlfriend about it, and she's like, "You need to get that checked out." I'm like, "I don't think it's that big a deal, but like, it is scary."
Oh yeah, that happens. But there are also times like if you look down at your phone while you're driving to like do whatever,
Yeah.
and then you look back up, and you'll just be like, I was not looking at the road for the last like 20 seconds. How
Yeah.
am I still like
Yeah,
here?
it's weird.
If there was a car stopped in front of me, like
you're done.
I wouldn't have known at all.
No, yeah, it's weird. It's crazy.
I used to try to drive from my apartment in Lee Summit to like the plaza area where I went to school, like just with my knees the entire time. You can do it.
That's
You can
cool.
100% do it. It's
Yeah.
just a straight shot the entire way.
That's cool. Yeah. And also on that same, like, it's crazy how you didn't like get messed up or whatever. One of my old coworkers was telling me about how he went to Pitt State and he drove from Pitt State back up to Lewisburg, which is like an hour drive or something like that, or 45 minutes. It was a long ass drive. Drunk. He like blacked out on the road and then woke up and his like he made it home, but his car was still running outside and the door was open or whatever.
Oh, man.
I was like, "How did you make it?" He's like, "I have no idea." He's like, "I remember seeing the yellow lines and that was it." I was like, "Dude, that's insane."
Weird shit. Man, we're at an hour already.
Cool.
Want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm down. That's cool.
Dude, thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thank you for
I had a
having
great
me.
time. It was
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Same to you.
Yeah, tell everybody where they can find you, social media, all
Yeah,
that.
it's 13th Tarot at everything. Some places the T is capital, but it's 13th Tarot everywhere. Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify. Garden Wall comes out end of October or something like that, and then a couple more projects after that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah,
we'll have
thank
to do
you.
this again.
For sure, absolutely.